Good afternoon, everyone. This is Anthony Wall Street Trader. It's 3:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, August 17th, 2021. Let's get started. So, Nucypher, that's what we're here to talk about, the newness of Nucypher. This is not financial advice, and the video is intended for educational purposes only. Click the subscribe button and the bell if you want to know what's going on when these videos come out. But even more so, click the thumbs up so that we can let the rest of the world know what's going on by bringing the greatness of Nucypher up to the top of the heap. Twitter.com link below. If you'd like, make sure you people are getting my intraday updates as and when they occur. Let's just take a look quick. All right, my average cost base is 39.2 cents. Slightly more in it than I thought in terms of skin in the game. I'm at 125% of my risk tolerance for this particular crypto. However, risk reward wise, I'm doing pretty well. Kind of happy right now because I jumped in at 21 cents. Had I not, I would have had a higher cost basis, albeit less risk capital committed at this point. But let's move forward and get into the charts because that's where the action's at. Now, not so great. We're not doing fantastic on Nucypher. It's kind of underperforming many of the other altcoins. I just want to take one step back, let all of you know this is a developmental stage type of crypto, meaning the adoption isn't 100% there, like, in terms of critical mass. It's not like some of the other ones that I covered right now, but make no mistake about it. The proposition of what this thing will bring to the table as a foundational platform for encryption, for data in transit, things of that nature. I think this is a fantastic opportunity to get in at the ground level. I still think 28 cents is relatively cheap. Now let's just take a look at some of the price action here. 6 months, zoom out a bit. Clearly bullish, downward broadening wedge. We talk about that ad nauseum. But as we go into the more short-term price action, we're still on the right course here. We're still on the trend. Now, last week we were a little higher, 31 cents, yay. But that doesn't really mean we're not far off from that. So we're kind of break even at this point. If you look week over week, again, not doing as well as the other cryptos, but it doesn't really matter because long-term, when it does start creating adoption and we start to see that momentum, that's when you start to see the real action happening. So again, you're getting in at the ground level here. Now, Nucypher, if you look at it right here, we're around, what's today? Today's the 17th. We're still on the path. And if we stay above this trend line long enough, by the end of this month, we're probably literally knocking on the door of the upper resistance line to that broadening wedge. So, keep that in mind as you're looking at this thing on the long-term scale, right? Nucypher Bitcoin pair is 631, and let's just drill into it a little bit more, and look, we're still above that resistance line. There was a little aberration sometime late last night. Not sure what this wick was, but it wasn't anything serious. Didn't even stay down for more than a quarter of a second, it appears. But again, we're above the line. We're in a rising phase of Nucypher Bitcoin above that support line. So the support line is still intact. So Nucypher US dollar, Nucypher Bitcoin still intact. Bitcoin, on the other hand, and I just talked about this on my other video today, looking like a wedge, an upward ascending narrowing wedge. And this is not exactly what I would call bullish. All right. I think that we're going to start to see momentum getting squashed here as you start to see it's like a tweezers. It starts getting closer and closer at the tip. We got another week in this pattern, but I have a feeling it already appears we're starting to break down a little bit. My breakdown, my bottom on this breakdown, which would be a temporary low of 42,000 if we do break down. It's not to say we're going to break down, but right now it appears like we might. And again, nothing's perfect here, so I could be wrong on the next video. So don't say, Wall Street Trade is wrong again. It doesn't really matter, right? The matter is the long-term view. I don't care what's going to happen from week to week, folks. I care about the long term. The long term is here. This is my long-term view of Bitcoin. 80,000 by the end of the year. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I think that just given the fact that we've been really kind of like all over this thing left and right with the volumes feels like this is the right play. This is the right direction. It seems to gravitate towards this line, and it feels like the most common part of the trend throughout this whole past year and a half. So 80,000 is what I'm projecting on Bitcoin. Now, if you're looking over at the Bitcoin dominance pair, as I had already mentioned a couple times in another video, we went all the way from 60 down here, and usually that means we're going to bleed out on the other side as well. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. We're bleeding out. The bleeding out on the Bitcoin dominance pair is actually kind of compelling for you. Why? Because if you're a Nucypher owner or you're any altcoin owner, this is kind of the chart you want to be in if you don't own any Bitcoin. I own both, so I kind of like both of them to. I want this thing to be 50, and I want altcoins to rally as well. So I want it all to rally. Now, when dominance in Bitcoin goes down, that means altcoin will outperform, generally speaking, outperform Bitcoin. What does that mean? That means if Bitcoin goes up 5%, altcoins should go up more than 5%. If Bitcoin goes down 10%, altcoins might go down 7%. So just as an example, meaning that altcoins won't do as bad or as Bitcoin, but will always do better than Bitcoin. That's when the Bitcoin dominance is going down. So that's what we're seeing here. So good for altcoin holders. Again, we would still want, the perfect scenario for altcoin is for Bitcoin dominance to go down and for Bitcoin to go up. That would maximize and optimize the altcoin price action. Now, a couple things around Nucypher. I'm going to take one step back on this. There's a new, for those who follow Discord, if you want to know about what's going on with Nucypher, Keep, and this new Threshold network, I strongly recommend you go to Discord, because that's really the only place I ever find any kind of information related to Nucypher. I hear sometimes people complaining about the fact they don't have access to it. I get it. Yeah, Nucypher they're not the greatest at PR or marketing or anything like that, and they're not very regular in their updates. I get it, but that being said, remember, they're development stage. They're not really out there. They're not grabbing a lot of adopters at this point in time until they complete the Bitcoin Ethereum bridge, which is called the Keanu network or the Threshold network. So I think that the way to figure this out more is to get connected into Discord and start seeing what people are talking about. You got developers on there, you got testers on there, you got stakers on there, you got delegators on. I mean, you got the world in there talking about this stuff day after day. Now, I don't see much about when exactly they're going to release this, but I do know that very recently they put out something called the DAO proposal version 2. And this particular proposal means not a lot to me. But it may mean something to you if you're in there staking and voting and good stuff like that. Now, this only has to do with the T network or Threshold, not Nucypher by itself and not Keep by itself. So just keep that in mind when you read this stuff. I'm going to post the link for this Threshold network site here, and I'll put the invite in there, and then you can just accept the invite. This way, you have access to Discord if you so happen to be interested in it. And that's pretty much all I've got. Nucypher's at 28.90 right now, maybe 29. Again, I'm still long it. I'm not planning on reducing my additional 25%. As you can see here, I will continue to keep that position on. I think the risk reward is very compelling to me. Everyone have a great day. Take care.